I hate having to do these, but in this case, I really do have to do it because I fucked up a little bit. So essentially, when I start talking about the voice acting of this game, I said that Nolan North, who plays Iron Man in this game, plays Tommy in The Last of Us, and he doesn't. Normally, I double check everything, but when it came to this game and I was just so pissed off at it, I didn't take the time to double check. And honestly, I don't even know where I got that from. I'm just going to be real with you. I don't know where I got that from that he played Tommy, but he didn't. So when you get to the voice acting part, the audio is going to be very choppy and like jumpy because I'm essentially going to cut out all the parts of me mentioning Nolan North playing Tommy because he doesn't. But everything else still makes sense, hopefully, and everything else still applies. But I just wanted to put this at the beginning to let you know that the audio will be choppy in the voice acting section because Nolan North did not play Tommy. I don't know where I got that from, and I cut all that stuff out. But still, fuck this game. So before I really get into this game, I want to address a few things. One, as you can clearly see on your screen right now, the gameplay looks kind of weird. And the reason why is because I forgot I had HDR on when I went to go record this game. And normally Shadowplay doesn't let you record with HDRs on, but for some reason it did. So that's why the game looks the way that it does. I can't do nothing about that. Like I said, normally it doesn't, but for some reason it let me did, and this is what we got. This was all the gameplay I could really get, and we're going to get into that. Hence why the title of this is that this game fucking sucks, because it does. Excuse me. But I wanted to go ahead and get that out the way. The second thing that I wanted to go ahead and address is that if you don't like cussing, if you don't want to hear me scream, and you don't like people screaming and cussing, I suggest you leave now, because there's going to be a lot of that here, because this is easily one of the worst experiences I've had on PC. And I've been playing on PC at this point for 6 years now. And this is easily one of the worst things I've ever played on PC, okay? So you got your warning. You got your explanation on the footage. Now I'm about to go in. This game, I swear to you, I've never been this pissed off at a game before, right? I take that back. I always go to this game, and I swear I always beat up on this game, but I'm telling you, it's the fucking truth when I say it. The only other game that's made me this angry is The Evil Within 2. Only other game that's made me this angry. But this is worse. And I fucking hate The Evil Within 2. I truly do. But this is even worse than that. Let me start off with the optimization for this game. So for all you out there who don't know, this game runs like fucking trash on PC. And let me tell you something. I don't use that word often, okay? I'm not one of those people who just constantly say shit is trash just for the sake of saying trash. I don't do that. When I say something's trash, I actually want it to mean what trash means. That it has nothing of value. That is what this game is. And let me go ahead and start off by saying this before I really get into my points. Don't give me that bullshit of, oh, it's just a beta. It's just a beta. No, the fuck it's not. When the game is coming out in a couple months, it's not a fucking beta. So don't give me that bullshit. Don't you dare utter that shit out your fucking mouth. Because this is not a beta. No, what this is everybody being game testers. Because they don't know what the fuck to fix. So they're like, hey, why don't we put out this beta with air quotations so we can figure out what we need to fix in the next month or two or whenever the fuck the game comes out. That's what this shit is. But it's not a fucking beta. So don't dare say that bullshit. But let me actually get into optimization, right? Let me start off with my first one, right? This game doesn't run in full screen. Now, for me, that's a huge pet peeve. That's a huge fucking pet peeve. And that's why I always bring up The Evil Within 2, because The Evil Within 2 was the thing that really made me kind of figure out my criteria on things when it comes to games and how they're supposed to run on PC. The Evil Within 2 said that it was supposedly full screen. And how I knew it was full of shit was because when I went to go record the game, in the upper right corner and in the upper left corner, when I would go and look at the actual footage, I would see my FPS counter and I would see my recording icon. Which if the game was in full screen, it wouldn't be there. That's how Shadowplay works, for all you out there who don't know. Shadowplay is a native recording software within the NVIDIA graphics cards. And if a game is in full screen, only you are supposed to see the FPS counter and the recording symbol or the recording icon to let you know that you're recording. And then when you go and look at the footage, it's not even supposed to be there. It's almost like it never happened. But when you have games that are in window mode, or in the case of fucking The Evil Within 2, when it's fake full screen, they're both there. And it's distracting. This game, on the other hand, is worse than that. I will take The Evil Within 2, where at least I saw my FPS counter, where at least I saw my recording icon. This game, I didn't even fucking know if I was recording or not half of the time. I would literally have to press Alt-Z, which is to bring up the overlay for Shadowplay, which then for some reason would close out the game entirely. So that was something, to see if I was even fucking recording. Then I would open the game up again, still wouldn't see my recording icon. My FPS counter wasn't even there. My FPS counter basically went on fucking vacation. And at first, I thought it was maybe Shadowplay fucking up. I was like, okay, maybe it's just Shadowplay fucking up, because Shadowplay has done that before. I was like, okay, maybe that's what it is. So I closed the game, and I had Saints Row 3 downloaded, and I was like, let me boot up Saints Row 3. As soon as I booted up Saints Row 3, FPS counter pops back up. He like, yo, what up, nigga? I've been waiting on you. What's been going on, fam? I'm just chilling. I'm like, so it is this game. So this game doesn't have full screen. And it was even more insulting. What pissed me off even more is that they literally have the nerve to say that they have an exclusive full screen. And that if you put an exclusive full screen, it'll make the game run better. Which which me and plenty other people know that shit is sure is not the truth. But that was the first thing. But I dismissed that. I was like, okay, you know what? Let's not worry about that. Let's just keep it moving. And then, oh boy, that's when the meat of it started to happen. That's when the meat start to develop when it comes to the optimization in this game. The first chunk of that meat, when I really noticed it and I'm like, oh, this is bad, is when for some reason in this game, when a character gets too close to the screen, the game doesn't know how to handle it. It just starts to deteriorate. And once again, I can't see my FPS counter, so I don't even know how low it dropped to. I can't fucking see it to even say, oh, well, it dropped to 15 frames or it dropped to 20. I don't know, because it was never there for me to see in the first place. But I made sure that everything I talked about today had footage. So I'm going to show you footage of everything, of every single thing that I'm going to be bringing up. The exclusive full screen, I can't really show you that unless I would just to show you in another video, but or record another game. But then, like I said, the whole point of the full screen Shadowplay stuff is not to see it. So you'll just have to take my word for it. But the stuff I'm going to be talking about from this point forward, I have footage for all of it. So nobody can't say that I'm bullshitting, that I'm talking out my ass or anything like that, which I highly doubt people would do anyway, because from what I've seen, the general reception of this game is that people don't like it. And the optimization, especially on the PC side, people have been talking about how fucking shitty this game runs. So I don't think I'm going to have many people try to come at my neck. But just for those people who try to come at my neck and say otherwise, I got footage for every single one of you motherfuckers. So like I said, getting back to my original point, for some reason in this game, when you have a character come close to the screen, the frame rate completely drops. And when it first happened, and you're going to see it in the footage, right? It's when Bruce is talking to Kamala after they find the helicarrier or whatever the fuck it is, right? And there's a scene where Kamala gets a little bit too close to the screen or the camera, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Bottom line, her face is damn near coming out my fucking monitor. And the frame rate just says, I'm good, bro. Like, I can't handle this. And he just fucking leaves. And it literally starts to look like a slideshow. Like, if you had a slideshow, but you was pressing the fucking next button really fast, that's what it looked like. It looks as fluent as that. That's how fluid it looks. Once again, I'm going to show you. I know some of the people I know who watch my channel says, oh, I don't pay attention to frame rate. No, nigga, you can't give me that shit this time. You gonna fucking notice that shit this time. But I'm gonna quit talking, and I'm just gonna show you what the fuck I'm talking about. To the point, and I'm gonna say one more thing. It was so bad that it got to the point to where I even paused the game, and I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And I went back to the menu, and then it still proceeded to be choppy when I'm heading to the menu, and then it wasn't until I got to the menu where it started to smooth back out. But once again, I'm going to show you it in its entirety so you can have all the context to show you that I'm not bullshitting.
It doesn't matter. Now look at me. I'm a freak.
Whoa, you're not a...
What? What the...
Now look at me. I'm a freak.
Whoa, you're not a...
It doesn't matter. Now look at me. I'm a freak.
Whoa, you're not a... What you did back there... Hey. What you did back there took a lot of guts. Stupid.
You see that shit? You fucking see that shit? That shit's ridiculous. What the fuck is that? Why can't this game handle a character model getting close to the screen? What's wrong with this game? But the thing about it is that that's not even the worst of it. That's not even the fucking worst of it. It gets even worse. So I finally said fuck it on that. I reset the game like 3 fucking times. And I was gonna save this point for later, but I'm gonna bring it up now. I spent... Okay, so look, the beta, for the open beta, I'm using air quotations, came out on Friday, right? I downloaded that Friday, or it might have been that Thursday I downloaded it. I can't fucking remember. But bottom line, I downloaded it and I played it on Friday when it came out, right? I go and play the game. I play the San Francisco shit that you're seeing now with the fucked up colors, right? And I'm like, okay, cool, blah, blah, blah. This game is running good. Then I get to that point, right? With the frame rate shit and the cutscene. I spent the rest of that Friday and all of that Saturday to fix this shit, right? To get it to somewhat work correctly. I seen that cutscene at least 4 or 5 times. And that's why, and I eventually just said, fuck it, and I kept it moving. So I did all of that shit to try to get it to work. And then, the first fucking mission I go on, this is what happens after spending a day and a half. Once again, I spent the rest of Friday, when I could have been playing the fucking game, trying to get this shit to work. All of Saturday trying to get this shit to work. And when I finally play the first fucking mission after that stupid ass cutscene on Sunday, this is what the fuck I run into.
Keep an eye on him, Carla. AIM has found the bunker. They've been looking very close to some things we need.
Commander Hill? Hello? Radio's down. Guess it's just us from here.
Not to worry. I will guide you to their signal jammers.
Do you see how fucking choppy that shit is? I spent a day and a half to get the same bullshit. Are you fucking serious? A day and a half to get the same fucking bullshit. The amount of incompetence with this shit. And I think what pisses me off even more is that this is from Crystal Dynamics. The people who fucking Tomb Raider games are still used as benchmarks till this day.
This day. To this day. To this day.
I don't fucking get it. I don't know what happened. It's almost like if they've never even fucking made a game before. And the simple fact that Square Enix and Marvel are attaching their name to this? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? But you know what, my friends? With that, on that snow mission, it gets even worse. And I know what you're thinking. Ensane, how could it get any worse? Oh, it does. So, after spending another 30 minutes trying to figure out why that's working, I finally figured out a solution. Dynamic resolution scaling, or whatever the fuck it's called. And essentially what that does is that you give it a frame rate that you want to stay at, and it adjusts, and it dynamically adjusts the resolution. So even though I have a rig that is very capable of running games at 4K max settings, like I said, with Gears of War, which is just God tier to me. That's why I use Resident Evil as a tier, because I know no game is ever going to be able to get up to not God of War, but Gears of War status, because that game is just God tier. I use Resident Evil 2 as that benchmark, as that like top level. I know not every game is going to be like that, or with me running games at 4K, not every game's going to run like that, right? So I just said fuck it, and I just went ahead and put it at that. Oh fuck, I forgot my point because I started thinking about that shit. Fuck, I completely forgot my point because I started thinking about the other shit. I apologize. But you get my point overall. I know not every game is going to run like that, but that's what I was going to say. But my rig is capable of running games at 4K no matter the game, right? That's essentially what I was going to say. Now I'm remembering. My rig is capable of running games at 4K. Not all of them are going to be like Resident Evil. Not all of them are going to be like Gears of War. But nonetheless, my rig can run games at 4K at high to max settings. Point blank, period. But I said, you know what? I'll just run the dynamic resolution scaling just so I can play through this shit. So I do that. The game is running okay. Cool. Doing my thing. I'm not having a good time, but I'm just playing the game just so I can still see what it's like, because I haven't had much time with it. And then when I get to the end of the fucking level, there's only one thing that could possibly happen, and that's the game fucking crashed. And in all my years of playing on PC, once again for 6 years, 2014 to 2016, I have never had a game say that I've run out of memory. Once again, just to give you some context again, I'm running a 2080, a MSI 2080. I'm running an i7-87K, 16 gigabytes of 3200 megabyte RAM, or 32, whatever fuck it is. I can't, not megabytes, but whatever the fuck it is. You know what I'm talking about. I can't think of all the technical terms right now because I'm fucking pissed. But you get my point. Once again, my rig ain't no fucking slouch. It ain't nothing to sneeze at. I'm going to be rocking this motherfucker for another 5 years. You get my point. And it says something about ran out of memory or some shit like that. And the game fucking crashed. Don't believe me? Here's the fucking footage. So once again, you're telling me after spending a half a day on Friday, all of Saturday, and 30 minutes or however long it was on Sunday, when I get to the end of the fucking mission, it crashes. I gave up. That was it for me. I fucking deleted the game. I deleted it because the game, when it crashed, and look, I understand that it's an online game. I understand that. So them keeping progress and track of your missions will be very difficult. But fuck that shit. Because I would have had to start that mission all over again. And it took me 20 fucking minutes just to get to the end of the goddamn mission. And you really think I'm gonna start that shit over again? You really fucking think I'm gonna start this shit over again? Man, fuck this game. Fuck this game. I spent a day and a half to get this bullshit to work. And then it fucking crashes when I'm about to complete the first fucking mission. I truly can't see how anybody would defend this bullshit. I truly can't see how they will put this shit out like this. And you know what's even more crazy? Is that when all of this was happening, especially when I was spending most of my fucking Saturday fixing this fucking game, because I really wanted to play it and see if it would change my mind, because that's possible. You can think of one game one way, and then you play it and you come out and you say, you know what? That game wasn't that bad. i.e. Mass Effect Andromeda. That's where I'm getting at. I was like that with Mass Effect Andromeda. I was a part of the hate bandwagon. And I was like, this game looks fucking stupid. It runs like shit. Blah, blah, blah. I was just with everybody else. And then I picked that game up one day because it was on sale. And I played it. And yes, it took me about 10 hours to finally start loving the game. But nonetheless, after I start playing that game, and after that 10-hour mark came, and I really start fucking with that game, I was like, you know what? I can't look at games like that no more. Because you never know what you can actually like. So from that point forward, I've always been cautious, but I've been optimistic about every game that I might not be interested in ever since I played Mass Effect Andromeda. Because Mass Effect Andromeda was a decent game. I'm not saying it's Mass Effect 2. I'm not even saying it's Mass Effect 1. We all know that those games are just pure godlike. The energy and everything that comes for those can never be replicated. But at the end of the day, Mass Effect Andromeda was not a bad game. And I'm glad that I played it. I'm glad that I damn near 100% completed that game. I'm glad I did that shit. And I wanted to take that same approach with this. But no. No. Fuck this. But to go back to my point, the thing about it is that after doing, like when I was doing all that shit on Saturday, I thought it might have just been my rig, right? I was like, okay, so maybe there is something wrong with my rig, right? So I went to go look at other people's stuff. And there was this dude on Twitch streaming. I don't remember his fucking name. It was just like the first name that popped up and he was playing. And I was like, okay, click. And I clicked on him. I could tell he was running that game at 1080p. And this man was having stuttering. And this man was playing on 1080p. Now, I understand. I don't know his setup. I don't know his rig. I don't know what he got in his system. But it's still the simple fact of it seems like no matter what you run it at, unless you run it at like fucking like 720 at low settings, this game is going to run like dog shit regardless. And that shit is unacceptable to me. You console players might be okay with that shit, because console players are always okay with everything. The game can run at 480p, 30 frames per second. They're like, well, that's fine with me. I can deal with that. But us PC players, we don't put money into our rigs to play shit games and for them to run like shit. We don't do that. That's why we spend the money we spend, because we want the best of the best, whether it be with resolution or frame rate. It doesn't matter if you're trying to play a game at 144 hertz, 240 hertz, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You put that money in to achieve that frame rate, and that's what you want. So when a game is not giving you that, you're going to be pissed. The same thing goes for us who care about resolution and fidelity. And graphics fidelity or high fidelity, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That's how we are. We don't put the money into a 2080 and an i7-87K to run a game at 720p fucking 30 frames per second. No, nigga, I want my fucking 4K 60 FPS because that's what I spent my money on. This game is, I'm done. Shit, like purely based off optimization alone, I would never fucking play this game. And the simple fact that they put Spider-Man on PlayStation only, they can really lick my dick. Like, straight up. Yeah, I know that's raunchy. I know that's raw to say. But seriously, they can lick my dick 18 different ways. Because they know that people want to play as Spider-Man. And they did that shit on purpose. So fuck them. And fuck Sony for that shit. Point blank, period. And no, they don't have the rights and the exclusive to Spider-Man. I don't know why people don't understand that they only have the rights and exclusives to the movie side of Spider-Man, not the game side. They can make games of Spider-Man, clearly, like they did with 2018, but they don't own the exclusive rights to Spider-Man. Hence why he was in Marvel vs. Capcom. Hence why he's been in Ultimate Alliance. I don't know. Hence why Activision, who is not with Sony, has made a bunch of Spider-Man games not associated with Sony or any of the Spider-Man movies. That's how you know that they don't have exclusive rights to Spider-Man video game wise. But somehow they did it. And fucking Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics and fucking Disney let them do it. They can lick my dick. I don't even want the game because of that. If the game don't even run good on PC, what fucking makes you think I'm gonna play this shit on PS4? On my base PS4 at that. Fuck this game. Point blank, period. But let's talk about some other things outside the optimization, because I spent more than enough time on that. Shit, I could have just made the video about that, but I'm just gonna go into this game entirely. So let's talk about the voice acting, right? Now, once again, because I've seen these comparisons, and I'm gonna be the exception here. I don't need every superhero game to play like Batman. I don't need every superhero game to play like Spider-Man 2018. I just don't need that. I don't mind a fresh approach and a take to a superhero game. I don't need all of them to play the same. If I want to play those games, I would just go fucking play those games. But the voice acting in this game is so laughably bad. Laughingly, whatever the fuck. Laughingly, I don't fucking care. You get my point. It's bad. The characters in this game. Okay, so look, I'll break it down character by character. I'll put it to you like that. Black Widow is whatever. Just like she is in the movie, she's fucking there. Like, her voice acting is not good, is not bad. She's just fucking there. To me, Thor is easily the best one. Whoever's playing Thor is really bringing out that whole whatever the fuck Thor mythology is. What is it? Norse or whatever the fuck? I can't remember at this moment, but whatever the fuck his mythology or whatever the fuck he comes from, like how he speaks and everything that we know what comes with Thor, he sounds great. I like the way Thor sounds. Bruce Banner just sounds like Bruce Banner. He sounds like a depressed motherfucker. Like, what else do you want me to say? Kamala Khan, I don't fucking care for her at all. I feel like they're just trying to make her the new Miles, which they've always tried to kind of do. That's why they kind of, for a while, always paired them up. Not like in a relationship type way, but they've always made them teammates and kind of put them together. No. I'm sorry. Kamala can never be Miles. Point blank, period. Miles is just too fucking good. And I'm not trying to shit on Kamala because I haven't read her comic books or anything like that, but she just doesn't have what Miles has. She doesn't have that magic and that whatever that Miles has that makes him good and makes like people like him. She just doesn't have that. But either way, her voice acting, whatever. It's okay, right? Cap, we don't even get to fucking see him that much in the game, so you can't even really talk about him, right? But Iron Man? Oh my God, dude, what the fuck did y'all do to Iron Man? And see, here's the thing. I don't want every single iteration of Iron Man to be like Robert. I'm letting that be known right now. As a matter of fact, I'm sick of them trying to make Iron Man like Robert all the time. I get it. He's synonymous. He's made the character what it is. Because let's be real here. Iron Man has been around forever, but nobody really cared about Iron Man until the MCU and what Robert did with the character. Like, let's just be real here. It's facts. Iron Man has been around. He was a popular character, but Robert in the MCU has made Iron Man what he is today. Point blank, period. And I don't want every single iteration of Iron Man to be like that. I actually want a new approach to Tony Stark. But this one, what the fuck were they even thinking? If they were thinking at all. So for all you out there who don't know, Iron Man is played by Nolan North. And you could clearly tell. Why? Because it's almost like if Crystal Dynamics was like, hey, Nolan, remember what you did with Deadpool? And he's like, yeah. Can you do that for Iron Man? What? Yeah, just do what you did with Deadpool, but just for Iron Man. That's what we want. If you're not getting my point, Nolan North played Deadpool in UMVC 3 and in that Deadpool game that they came out with. And he's been the voice of Deadpool for quite some time now. But the problem with it is that it's almost like they're ignoring how talented Nolan North is. I'll give you two characters. And the reason why I'm setting this up like this is to show you the range of Nolan North and the potential that he could have brought to Tony Stark. He plays Deadpool, right? But he also plays Nathan Drake. You look at Nathan Drake and how he is, and many other fucking characters that he's played, when he could have brought a completely different take to Iron Man. Are you fucking serious? I don't get it. I don't. But then that's not even the worst of it. And this is going back to my original point of Spider-Man. And particularly Spider-Man. One of the things that made Spider-Man so fucking good was the minor details that Insomniac added. And one of the biggest ones for me was how when Peter would be fighting, swinging through the city, doing whatever, his voice would reflect that. So if he's fighting, his voice would change and reflect him punching somebody and doing flips and shit. Or when he's swinging through the city and he's on his phone, you can hear his voice reflect him swinging through the city. You see what I'm saying? The inflections that will come with it, essentially. You can hear it. Like he'll be talking, like he'll be fighting, and then he'll get hit and he'll stop talking. Or he'll sound like he got hit while he's talking. You can hear that. This game, not even close. Everything feels like everybody's just doing shit and just having casual conversations. You're playing as Iron Man, he getting hit and shit, and he's shooting people, and he talking to somebody like he talking to him at the store. Like, hey, okay, so what you want to get today? I was thinking about making some steak. You want to get some steak today? That's how he sounds. Now, of course, there's a lot more enthusiastic and stuff for the moment, but I'm just saying, there's nothing that basically reflects the actions that they're doing. They're just talking. They're basically just dubbing over whatever the fuck they're doing. Like, come on, dude. Like, you really couldn't do that? That was really too much? This is a fucking Marvel Avengers game. And you can't take the time to at least do something like that? I don't get it. Like, it's just, it's, I'm not even gonna say it's disappointing. It's just sad. It really is. Because what this boils down to is that you see that this was a cash grab. That this wasn't a labor of love. You can tell something like Insomniac Spider-Man or the Arkham series were labors of love. Well, up until like Arkham Knight. But you can tell like Arkham City and Arkham Asylum and even Arkham Origins to a certain extent. Like, you can tell those was labor of love. Spider-Man PS4, that was a labor of love. Shit, even going back to like Spider-Man 2 on PS2, that was a labor of love. Like, you can tell when superhero games are made with love. This wasn't, because they didn't even try to go this far. Or that far with like the inflections and all of that in their voice. They didn't even try. It was just like they said, all right, read your lines. All right, let's do that a couple more times. All right, you good. Thanks. And that was it. Then last but not least is the gameplay. The gameplay of this game is boring as fuck. It really is. You do the same combos. I'm pretty sure you unlock different moves throughout the game. Once again, I don't know because I didn't get to fucking play the game because it crashed on me. Oh, and I meant to say that too, and I'm going to go ahead and say it now. I don't give a fuck if I'm late or not. It crashed on me twice, by the way. But the one that I showed you was the only one I was able to capture. I wasn't able to capture the first one. So the game actually crashed on me twice, but that was the only one I was able to get, and that was the final straw right there. But anyway, and it was the same message each time. But anyway, the gameplay is not that great. And I'm pretty sure you unlock different moves and you can equip with different moves, blah, 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 blah. I don't fucking care. This shit's boring. Point blank period. It's boring. The thing with these games, even though it's not a looter shooter or a beat 'em up brawler, or not a beat 'em up brawler, but I'm gonna say it's a looter shoot. It's not a looter shooter, but it's like a beat 'em up looter or brawler, looter, beat 'em up, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? You punching niggas and shit like that, right? Even with it being that, there has to be something there. Like, even though I don't care for looter shooters and stuff like that, like, I see the appeal of Warframe, right? I see why people sink as much time as they do. Because there's elements to it like the traversal, and I don't know, it's hard for me to say that. And like, you know, all the flips and shit you could do, the weapons, and get like the actual warframes or whatever the fuck they're called. Like, all of that shit, I get why people like that shit and how they have different abilities and stuff like that. I get why people like Destiny, right? Because the shooting mechanics are really solid and everything that comes with Destiny. Like, I get that shit. I get why some of these are good, right? And I get why some people like the grind. Even Borderlands, like, I get why people like that shit. But this game has none of that. It is very dry. It is very bland and boring. There's nothing there that makes you want to come back. You're just punching and punching and punching and punching and punching and punching and punching. And I get it. It's the same thing with Destiny and them. It's just shooting and shooting and shooting. But you can clearly look at Destiny and see why. You can see the magic there. You can see the it factor that it has. You can look at Warframe and see why it's popular and why it has it. You can see the it factor. This game doesn't have an it factor. It doesn't. And the gameplay reflects that. The gameplay is all over the place. The way characters function, the way that they hit, the way that they actually just do moves is fucking broken. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you some clips of that stuff right now where characters are clipping through geometry. There's a part where I'm fighting this Captain America. I'm pretty sure I've already showed that part. I don't know because I haven't edited this. Well, I can't speak because my mouth is dry. Sorry. I haven't edited this video yet. But if you've already seen it, well, you're about to see it again. There's just multiple parts where characters, like, the game just doesn't want to fucking work. It's almost like if it doesn't even want to exist. And it's breaking down as you play it. But I'm gonna find instances of where the combat is just fucking broken and weird as fuck, and you'll see. That's all I can do.
Avengers report!
Like, to me, the one that really just shows how broken the gameplay is and everything about it is when I'm fighting this Captain America and I jump up and do an execution move, and then Captain America is fucking, I move my head back and I forgot that you won't be able to hear me if I do that, but you get my point. Like, he's fucking falling through the geometry and like doing the move like all in an awkward angle. Like, what is this? What is this? Like, this is the gameplay you're presenting me with that you think I'm gonna want to sit down and play for hours? That I'm gonna want to sit down and waste my fucking life with and play over and over again? And look, I understand there's an audience for everybody. There's plenty of people out here saying that this game is awesome. And if you think this game is awesome and you really want to play it, go ahead. Please be my guest. I'm glad that you enjoy this game. And I hope you have all the fun with it. And I hope you get everything you want out of this game. But for me, this ain't it, Chief. This ain't it. It ain't. I know that's an old meme at this point, but I don't give a fuck. I use what the fuck I want, and that's one of them. That shit ain't it, Chief. I'm good on that. And it's so sad that this is what we're presented with. Not only what, after fucking 10 years or whenever, what was it? When did no, not 10 years. When did the first Avengers come out? Like 2000, was it like 2012, I think, maybe? I know it wasn't no 2010. I think it was like 2012, maybe. I don't know. I really don't fucking care at this point. But you get my point. However long it's been after the first Avengers, we're finally getting one, and this is what we're presented with. This is really what we're presented with? Nah, bro, you should have just kept that shit. You should have just kept that shit. Like, seriously. I hate that I have to be like this with this game. I really do. Because like I said, after Mass Effect Andromeda, I try to be optimistic with every game. I don't want to outright hate a game. I don't like that. I don't. That's just me. I don't like being like that. I'm like that even in my actual life. Like I try to be optimistic about everything. Because you never know what you're going to like. But this is one of those cases where I was right. When I said this game wasn't going to be it, that it looked pretty bad, I didn't call it trash back then. But I said, I don't know about that, bro. This game looks pretty rough. When I was talking to all my friends and stuff, I was like, I don't know about this game. This game is looking pretty rough. I don't think this game is going to be that good. Unfortunately, I was right. And I hate that because I didn't want to be right. So that's my thoughts on this game. It's my rant on this game. I'm good, bro. Like, unless they do some real drastic shit, like bring in the X-Men and do just like some really drastic shit, I would never play this game because it's just not enough. The gameplay is not that good. The characters, like each one has their own little thing, but it's not enough to make me want to go and play it even more. Like, I don't want to play as Black Widow. I've already played as her. She's okay. I don't want to play as Iron Man. Like, honestly, I'm glad that they did that opening sequence because you got to play as each character. And honestly, most of the characters that are in this game, I don't want to play as. The only two, I would take that back. The only two characters that I really enjoy playing as, Hulk is okay. I'm not going to say I completely enjoy playing as Hulk. He's like in the middle. But the two that I thought were the most fun was Captain America and Thor. So I will say that. I will give the game its props on that. To me, Captain America and Thor are really fucking fun to play as. But as far as everybody else, I'm good. And that's most of the cast. When most of your cast is not even fun to play, and then I don't even know when the fuck Captain America comes back or how long you play as the nigga. So really, you're talking about I'm iffy on Hulk. I don't want to play as Black Widow. I don't want to play as Kamala Khan. I don't want to fucking play as Iron Man. The only one that leaves is Thor. So out of 5 characters, I only want to play as one. They hinted at Hawkeye, so I don't know how he's gonna play. And I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna want to play as him either. So unless they do some real drastic shit with this game, I'm good, bro, forever. And especially like I said with that Spider-Man shit, I'm really good on that. Because based off how the rest of the characters play, I don't even think he's gonna play good. And once again, I'm not even trying to refer to, or I'm not even saying I want him to be like the one, the Insomniac Spider-Man. I don't want him to even play like that. I'm not saying he got to play like that. Just based off all the other characters, I know that they're not going to do him justice either. And that's it. I'm done. I'm sweating up a storm. It's hot as fuck in this room. And you'll never hear me talk about this game again. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry for screaming in your ear if you made it this far. I'm pretty sure a lot of you didn't. But if you did make it this far, I apologize for screaming in your ear. But I warned you ahead of time. So it ain't like you didn't know. And yeah, that's all I got. Fuck this game.